Hello everyone, this is Proac and this is the 1903 video of the series about the game Cards in 2020. So last we left off, we saw two critical things happen on the board. One, I took Norway from the player Norway, and that was a critical move to cripple him and make sure I could dominate in the north. And on the other hand, my relation with France began to deteriorate because we had disagreements diplomatically and tactically with the moves, which I found somewhat suspicious. And after that, the Spanish threat began looming on the horizon when the Spanish troops began invading the French territory. So basically, I started this turn, and France sees my build in Edinburgh, a fleet in Edinburgh, which is eastward, is projected on my conquests of the eastern part of the map, so towards Norway, Poland, Germany, and Russia, and is not in any way helpful to him, which obviously wanted a Liverpool fleet to help him against Spain. So basically, he started right out of the bat with accusations and telling me you should have been in Liverpool. I'm doomed now. I have no chance against Spain without your help, and you're refusing to give it to me. And basically, he was right. His assessments were right because I was acting shady. I was in some way backstabbing him. Even if softly, even if I wasn't really attacking him, my neutrality in his conflict between him and Spain was proving to be his demise, basically. A real ally, a very loyal ally, would have been helpful to him, would have fought Spain with him. So basically, he was right, and he didn't even know of all the machinations I was doing behind the scenes, of all the strings I was pulling, because I was giving my permission to Spain to attack France. I was actually giving my permission and my promise of neutrality to Spain. So basically, I was even worse than he could perceive. So basically, yeah, and I told him to base his perspective in this moment on realpolitik. Yeah, sure, I haven't been in Liverpool, so you can't change the past. It's useless now to focus on that. Let's focus on the board, and the board says that in this position, this fleet in Western Med is going to go to Mid-Atlantic Ocean, and Gascony and Mid-Atlantic Ocean will take Brest because Marseille is going to go to Burgundy, and Burgundy is going to cut Paris. So basically, Brest will fall unless he in some way avoids Burgundy being taken. So I told him to move Paris to Burgundy and Rouen to Burgundy, to self-bounce, to avoid any move to Burgundy. That way, in the fall, he could have support-held Brest from Paris, and that would have ensured another year of him not losing any center. What am I doing? Why am I telling him this? Because I'm pursuing a policy of balance of power, which is a very important concept in the game of diplomacy, but also in real European politics, past and present. It's what the great powers of Europe did after Napoleon's defeat. They united and decided on the borders and the balance of power of Europe to avoid another great conqueror to emerge from any power in Europe, with some unsuccess, but that's another story. So basically, I'm trying to balance the French strength and Spain's strength, because if their war lasts forever, if their war lasts for a very long time, I can continue to sweep the other part of the board. I can destroy Norway, Poland, Germany, and even take St. Pete from Russia without any interference. And then I can, with all my strength, decide who wins the war, or at least I can prolong that war. I don't really expect that war to last for 10 years, but that war can be prolonged for 1 or maybe 2 years. So that's why I'm suggesting moves to France, while at the same time I was writing to Spain and telling him my being in Edinburgh was a sign of peace, was a sign of neutrality, and he thanked me for that neutrality and said he looked forward to working for me, with me, I should say. So basically, that's my policy. With my moves, I'm telling Spain a story, but with my words, I'm actually helping France. And that's pretty shady, I will agree, but that's also in France's best interest. And to that, France was probably pretty mad at me. And after his accusation of my missing being in Liverpool, he didn't really reply to my suggestion of safe bouncing in Burgundy. And we'll see if he does it in the autumn. Another player I communicated with other than Spain and France was Russia. Russia contacted me right off the bat and said he was going to join me in my war against Norway. So we have seen how Russia didn't really want to join that war because it was really protective of his St. Petersburg center, rightly so. And when the result of my invasion of Norway was uncertain, he wasn't really ready to commit. But now that he sees the spoils he could gain, he says, I will join you in your war against Norway. I only ask to get Sweden, and then we can demilitarize Norway, Norwegian Sea, Finland, Barents Sea, Gulf of Bothnia, Baltic Sea, and so on. So basically the whole Scandinavia area. I say I accept your terms because a little help against Sweden can't harm me, and we can see that there's a really strong alliance between the Norwegian player and the Lowlands player. Not strong in the sense of military strength, but in the sense of it was pretty much they are committed to try to survive together, and they aren't gonna betray one another, I think. We have to specify something. Basically, when I talked about my manipulation of France and Spain, or at least my attempt of manipulation, that's just the beginning. And as you can see this year and in the following years, I try to communicate as largely and as long as possible with many of the other players, especially the ones that are closer to me. And this strategy is some sort of attempt of puppet mastering in this game. I felt kind of like a puppet master at some times. On some turns, I controlled a lot of countries other than my country. I knew the orders of a lot of other powers, and I calculated that 8, England included, of the 11 starting powers were in some way influenced in their moves by me during the game. Just Turkey, Spain, Russia were kind of not that influenced by me, but that's Turkey because is the furthest from me, and also because it didn't really communicate after 1901 with me. And Russia and Spain. Russia was kind of in some agreement, some tactical agreements with me during this game. So I can say I influenced them a little bit, but not that much. And also Balkan. I didn't really communicate with Balkan this game, and he got eliminated in 1902, so that's obvious. Spain was my fiercest opponent, so that's why he wasn't really buying any of what I had to say. And basically the difference between how Russia and I played this game was very apparent. Russia was the big bad military power that dominated the south of the board, and with his strength and his armies was dominating his neighbors and imposing his power. While even though I had strong armies and fleets, and we'll see more of that, The secret to my success in this game was my political dominance on the north, because most of the powers of the north were basically listening to what I had to say and doing what I wanted, or at least I knew what they were doing for most of the game, and that's pretty useful, I have to say. So I communicated with Russia, France, and Spain and got agreements with all of them. Russia wanted Sweden, and I asked a future support into Denmark from Sweden if I got Russia into Sweden. I have to say that this promise, I didn't really expect Russia to keep it, because it's a promise in the future, and the map can change, and Russia, after he got Sweden, doesn't really have to obey to what I say. So basically, I tried to extract something from Russia, but I don't know if he would have actually supported me into Denmark. And another player I communicated with was Noland, that for the first time in this game, and I discovered that Noland was communicating with other players but not with me, responded. And because I asked him, are you ready to cooperate now? And he said yes. And I basically said, okay, I want you to stop messing with my forces, and I will stop attacking. I won't attack you anymore if you stop interfering with what I'm doing, because it's apparent that now I'm more focused on Scandinavia. He didn't respond to this, but at least he answered me, so that's a start. And finally, we have Germany. Germany, the third Germany of this game, was a real saint. The third Germany was something of a player like I've never seen. It was selfless, almost self-sacrificial at times, communicative. He was the best kind of player with which you want to interact with, not to lessen anything of any of the kind of communication of the other players. There were a lot of great players in this game, but Germany was very good at responding fast and being thorough in his messages, and he basically did everything I wanted from him, and did everything France wanted from him, for in exchange for basically nothing, which I don't know if it's a good strategy, probably not, but he was kind of trying to survive in a really tough situation, and he saw this opportunity of serving us in exchange for his survival, and he took it, but almost for free. And we'll see how basically, even if I didn't ask him anything, he was always ready to offer something. So a very unique player. But it's the best kind of ally you can have. I don't know if it's the best kind of play you can play, but it's the best kind of ally you can have for sure. So basically, I talked to Germany, and I finally asked if we wanted to cooperate as nations, and he said yes. And he said he was going to try to retake Kiel, because that was the sensible move. And I said, okay, that's good. I will cut support from Holland to ensure you get Kiel. And I basically informed him of my alliance with France and the situations between us. And I started my work around the formation of a Western Triple, a very strange Western Triple with all sorts of other powers in between, and a very weak France, a very weak Germany, and a kind of strong England, but a Western Triple nonetheless that could help in future endeavors. So that was my spring of 1903. Let's see how the moves went. So basically, the first thing we can notice is this. Oh my God. The Italian player surprises us all again with these strange moves, and he slips into Munich while Germany takes Kian. That's really something. I told you in the last video that army in Tyronia was going places, and that's a place for sure. So basically, Italy breaks the wall, breaks the stalemate line, gets in the north, and basically the first player he attacks is Germany. What a really extravagant player, but when done on taking Munich, of course, he can't keep it because it's surrounded by German and French units. And of course, another thing we can notice is the move of France. France didn't do what I asked to. He hanged with Ruhr, and only Paris moved to Burgundy. This means that after these moves, Brest is undefended. Brest cannot be defended by Paris because Paris is now in Burgundy, so Brest will fall. So my balance of power plan went out of the window. I don't know why France would do this. Either he read my mind and he saw my attempt at balancing Spain and France power and tried to take himself hostage, basically to try to die quickly to accept some sort of reaction from me. That's possible. A very very difficult strategy, but that's possible. Another point is misorder. He wanted to move Ruhr to Burgundy, I just didn't click it. Third possibility is pride, because some players don't like to be told what to do. So that's a third possibility. And a fourth possibility, and that's the one that scares me the most, is that he could go for Belgium, and that's why he hanged in Ruhr. And other than that, you can see I took North Sea and hanged Norway while Russia gets into Gulf of Bothnia. Other than that, the fighting between Austria and Russia continues. Austria takes Budapest but loses Vienna, and now it's a real mess here in the south because on one end, Turkey, which was working with Russia until last year, stabs him, and on the other hand, Austria takes Bulgaria. I don't know if this was arranged. I don't think so. I think that Austria and Turkey allied against Russia, and Austria just thought I will take Bulgaria from Turkey, but it could be arranged. But even so, even 2 versus 1, Russia is playing a really strong game and is got himself into a good position on Scandinavia. Germany takes Kiel and forces the Lowland army to go into Denmark, and this is a very good strategy, very good tactic, basically forcing 2 allies to break up their alliance by posing an existential threat to their existence, because Lowland is basically risking his own survival now, and the only place he can retreat to try to survive is an allied center, Denmark. But that way Scandinavia begins to become even more weakened, even more crippled. So very good for me, which I was having some difficulties in trying to calculate how to take Denmark and Sweden subsequently. So basically, the first thing that happened was I tried to convince Spain for a real alliance now. So basically, I told Spain, now that France has made that mistake, it didn't self-bounce, as we can see. I told Spain that since he's destined to fail now, France, of course, I want a real talk about an alliance. No more neutrality. I want some assurance. I want some plan. I asked him, who are you going to attack after France is destroyed? Because you really have 3 choices, me, Germany, and Italy. And I don't want it to be me. And Spain basically said that he wanted to go over the Switzerland barrier and go into Germany. And but he was open to one possibility. So even with me pressing the issue of an official alliance, he didn't really give me a yes nor a no. He was give me a yes and a no at the same time. And the plan to go against Germany, against the center of the board, didn't really sound very good to me, because how is he going to take German territories without using his fleets to go around me into English Channel and North Sea? So basically, I didn't believe him. I thought he was trying to bamboozle me. So basically I decided, took action, and I decided, okay, balance of power is no more an option. Now I have to intervene, and my choice is obvious. I have to intervene in favor of France. France is the weaker power, and it's always better, in my opinion, to have a weak ally than a strong ally, because a strong Spain with all French territories, yeah, it could be kind of like an English French alliance, but I don't really trust him. A weak France with my support could gain something very slowly against such a Spain, and this could, try to be some sort of surrogate of my strategy of balance of power I wanted to apply. So yeah, I basically decided to try that. So next turn, I was after the fall of Brest, I was going to bring the Liverpool no matter what, because this is too dangerous for me anyway. He could just take my centers without any opposition, so I have to bring them Liverpool, and it won't be any suspicious at all. It won't be suspicious at all from Spain's point of view, because it would be stupid from my part, not to bring them Liverpool at this point. But I was also planning, kind of like I did with Norway, to attack Spain, to come in France's rescue, and to form this Western Tripon with Germany, which had to help France in some way, because France was gonna lose otherwise, even with my help. So basically, that's what I did on the Spanish front. And on the French front, I kinda said, why didn't you do what I told you to France? Why didn't you self-bounce in Burgundy? And he basically said, you should have been in Liverpool again. I told, yeah, but even if I didn't beat in Liverpool, why didn't you do what I said? Now you're doomed. And this was almost a breaking point for us. France at that point just told me, okay, I guess good luck. And that meant, in my opinion, that he was done with me, that he didn't want to listen to anything I wanted to say, that good luck was a very polite way of saying me to shove it. So basically I said, no, don't misinterpret me. I want to help you. I will help you. I will come in at your rescue. Let's do something. Let's try to work with Germany. And I saved from nothing, from the brink of destruction, my alliance with France, taking a strong stand on the continuation of this game. Then Russia contacted me with a convoluted plan to attack Scandinavia. Basically, he can see that Sweden is difficult to take, so his plan was to exchange centers. He wanted Norway from me, while I took Sweden after that with his help, and in the meantime I would cut support from Denmark to Sweden, because we are still convinced that Lowland and Norway are working together, even with a Lowland unit in a Norwegian center. And this plan makes sense. So these moves are good. He's not trying to trick me with some foolish plan or anything like that. But he's trying to trick me, in my opinion, anyway. So this is a good way to trick someone, because the moves make sense tactically. But watch what happens if I do what he says. He will have an army in Norway. I will have a fleet in Sweden. He will have a fleet in Gulf of Bothnia. And he will have St. Pete empty. Then he builds in St. Pete, he takes Sweden, he covers Norway, and I can do anything. He takes Scandinavia, he has invaded completely the north, and I can't do anything to stop him, and basically Russia solos, because look, at this. In the future, Russia is going to have success in the south, and even if it doesn't, it's not a certainty. I can predict the other players' moves. So basically, this is a very dangerous plan from Russia. I don't want to say no just like that, but I have to try to something. So basically, I tried a policy of I was Russia's yes but later man. So basically, I always said yes to Russia, but later I found excuses. I found loopholes in his plans. I found any reason I could say to say no to this plan. And in this case, the most likely excuse is that I can't cut Denmark because I have to use North Sea to take Holland. And that's the truth. And he said we can get Germany to cut Denmark, and then Germany, as a saint, without even my encouragement, said to Russia, "I'm going to support Belgium to Holland," and that wasn't true. That was a lie. So I told Russia that was a lie, and Russia knew that he couldn't trust Germany, even though I didn't really ask anything of Germany. And spoiler alert, Germany will support Belgium to Holland, even though I didn't ask him, and I actually attacked from North Sea because I needed Belgium to go to Picardy to help France. So basically, Germany saved me there, and I told Russia about the danger of leaving him with Norway and I taking Sweden with a built-in St. Pete. And I just said, okay, let's do this. I will support Gulf of Bothnia to Sweden from Norway. It most likely won't work, but it's something. Russia tried to complain, but then accepted it. So basically, I knew that if Norway makes the right moves, that won't work, and Norway will keep Sweden for another year, and that's my policy on the Russian front, because Russia is looking more and more like my real rival for this game. So basically, I contacted Spain and Italy because I needed some help with Belgium. I didn't know if I could trust France, and even though I tried to repair my relationship with him, and I could foresee a retreating English Channel. So with a retreating English Channel, France would have some leverage over me. Other than any other reason of having a weak ally over a strong one and so on, I asked basically Italy to cut Ruhr and Spain to cut Burgundy to avoid any attack on Belgium that would be successful. Italy asked me in return to cut Ruhr as well, so we both get to keep Munich and Belgium, and I said yes, and I didn't do it because what do I have to lose? And because I said yes very close to the deadline of the game of this turn, I had some reasonable excuse that I said yes very late and he didn't respond, so I changed my orders or something like this. Italy is a good ally, but since his extravagant way of playing, I can't really trust him or for a long-term collaboration, so I don't mind lying to him over such a small thing. So basically, after all this, we can say that I have control over the north part of the map, and I'm starting to pull the strings of all the players. So basically, I labeled with different color shield the different powers. You can see that Russia, Germany, Italy, and France are green shields, which means they're basically my allies. Even with all our contracts, France asked me if I wanted support into Holland with this Ruhr unit, and I said no, use Ruhr as you want. If you want to help Germany regain Munich, do it. And as well as to Germany, I said, I don't need help in taking Holland, just don't interfere with me taking it, and you can do whatever you want. So basically, France and Germany, even with all my contrasts with France, are my allies, and I have established some weird Western triple. Russia is my ally in the Norwegian War, but not a real ally. I fear him and I want to delay him, but we're kind of ally because I'm supporting him into Sweden and I'm planning on giving him Sweden, but I don't want to give him Norway, that's for sure. And Italy is my temporary ally because he's helping me with his tap on Ruhr probably. Poland and Spain are blue shields because they're not really my allies because Spain didn't give me a clear answer on being allies or not, and Lowlands as well didn't give me an answer on our non-aggression, and I'm going to attack him, so we're enemies, but we're enemies from my perspective, but he is indirectly helping me by taking Denmark with his retreat. So basically that's why they're blue shields, because Lowlands is an actual enemy but is doing something that is friendly to me even though he doesn't want to, and Spain is friendly to me but I'm going to attack him, so that's why that's blue. And the only red shield, so the only real enemy I have, is Norway, which can do much with this configuration of powers. So you can see how I managed to do what I think a northern power in this game has to do. I have only allies or fake allies. I have just one enemy, the one which I am actively fighting, and that's great. If I can keep this up, I can easily conquer most of the north. I can become the dominant power in the region. I already am, unless Russia or Spain do something that stops me in my tracks. And yeah, so basically, let's see how this turn went. As you can see, I did support Russia into Sweden, but it didn't work because Norway did the right move and cut my support. It could have just as easily support hand Sweden, but he did one of the two moves. And Russia took Budapest while taking Vienna as well, so he's clearly winning in the south. But Turkey should delay him a little bit, but he gains 2 wins, and this is scary. I basically ranked ban to some players, especially France, that or Italy, that Russia was going to win if we didn't do anything to stop him. Germany, as the saint and the savior he is, he supports France into Munich. He doesn't take it for himself. So France doesn't have to destroy anything, and Spain, as predicted, took Brest, and France retreated in English Channel. So I didn't being in London, I decided to trust France, even though we couldn't communicate in this build phase, and I built Liverpool, because if I built in London, yeah, I could have defended London in the short term, but I think it was the strategically wrong move in the long term. In this way, if France is loyal to me, I can help him and win against Spain in the long term, which is far more important. And Italy retreats to Silesia. This Italian and goes to Tyrone. This Italian is a madhead. This is very good for me because Silesia borders with Warsaw, and Russia is basically threatened by a power which shouldn't be threatening to Russia at this stage of the game, and we'll have to use some of his resources to cover Warsaw if he doesn't want to lose it, probably, we don't know. And that's really great. That distracts Russia while I make the north mine. So that was this year. I really enjoyed this year. This is the beginning of the turning point of the game, which we'll see in 1904. And yeah, so see you then.